Hey friends. So I had some questions come in about, hey, we're having a lot of trouble hiring, whether it's assistants, hygienists, front office. We have a shortage in our area. And I have run into this. In my area, it's usually hygienists that I run into it with. But it is challenging when you cannot get the right person in. I hear that. And so let's think outside the box a little bit. I think we all look at it like, oh, I put, the knee jerk is I put the ad up and I've had, none of my applicants are any good or nobody's applying, which feels even worse. And what do? Right? And let me tell you, I have made some pretty not so smart hires in the past out of desperation. So please learn from my mistakes. I definitely have done that. I had one time that I had an assistant left. And you get 2 weeks notice usually, right? And so my assistant left and I've got a full schedule and I run my 2 columns and I need another assistant in there. And I start gathering resumes and just, nobody seems really great, but I need an assistant. I need an assistant. I need an assistant. And then you get that panic, that scarcity, that shortage mindset that you're like, oh man, I have to hire someone. What am I gonna do? And let me tell you, the wrong hire is not worth it. Let's start there. Um, I think one of my worst mistakes was I needed a hygienist to fill in. And I hired this hygienist short term. And this is one that I kind of told you a story before, that she couldn't wipe down anything, blood everywhere. And so I ended up letting her go. She quit last minute. So I didn't actually have to fire her. And then, so this is probably about 6 months later, I know she's not the best hygienist, but the patients like her, and I am desperate to have somebody to fill in. Well, she applied for the fill in because she was covering other places and couldn't find a steady job. And so I brought her back in to fill in for a little bit. And it was just as much of a mess as before. And I should have known better. I should have known that this hygienist, couldn't take care of her stuff. I had already been through this once with her. And every time she comes and leaves, she also, files unemployment and everything else, which is, if that's what she needs, that's entitled to her, but it's a lot of paperwork and it's a big pain in the ass. Excuse me. And I should have known better, but I was desperate. I had that scarcity that, what am I going to do? I have to have the practice is going to implode if I don't have as many hands on deck as I need. Okay, let's think outside the box. First of all, if you possibly can, take your time, hire the right person. Are there ways that other people can cover? Are there ways the team can pull together? What can you do to give yourself time to get the right person? Or, maybe hire a temp in the meantime, because at least with the temp, you can, if they're not right, that. It's okay. You can let them go. It's just a short-term thing. Ask your other team members. My most recent couple hires have been from other team members who have recommended these people. Somebody they had worked with at a previous office, somebody that they knew from school, somebody they just knew in the community. And those are really the best things. So ask your team members if you haven't already. If you can, so assistant front office position, train on the job. I know some places you can train assistants, some require more of a certificate, but if you can, be open to training on the job. And no matter whether you're training on the job or not, depending on the position, hire for personality. And this is something that took me a long time to figure out, because you get this stack of resumes and you're looking at it and you're like, oh, well, Susie has 2 years of experience. She's worked at 4 offices in those 2 years, but she has 2 years of experience. And Jane just finished, has no experience, just finished her schooling. But then you get an interview them and Susie's okay, but Jane is super excited and personable and just seems like personality-wise would be a good fit. Hire Jane. In the past, I would have hired Susie because, why? Because I don't like training people, right? And so training is a pain in the butt. So you look at it and you're like, I need somebody who can start assisting on Monday. I don't have 2 weeks to get them trained up to speed. So I have to hire Susie because she has the experience and she should be able to jump in, even though she's not the right personality fit. No, bad choice, bad choice. Hire the personality fit. You will train them. They will get up to speed and they will last long term. Stop hiring in a panic as a band-aid. Hire for long term. Hire the person who's actually going to fit for you long term. Look for, one thing that I run into is I'm in a small community, so looking for people who are local to my community tend to stay a lot better. You want to have a great reputation to be somebody who's good to work for, right? Otherwise that will drive people away. So be somebody who's awesome to work for. And yes, that means paying fairly and, depending on your area and what's normal for benefits, doing what's, normal. But of course, don't break the bank. Don't think that that's the only part that goes into it. Yes, if you're paying well below what's normal, people are not going to stay. But if you're at a competitive rate, like I said, don't break the bank. You still need to actually run the business and make a profit and all that good stuff. So you can't just keep throwing money at employees. You have to keep an eye on that. And here's the thing, once they're in and you show them that you are that awesome place to work for and they have, the culture and the fun and you care about them and they see that and the team cares about them and they love each other, they'll stay. They'll stay for that as long as what you're doing is fair. So I would love to hear your stories about how you've found employees during times where you couldn't find them, where there wasn't a lot out there. Like I said, kind of thinking about, instead of looking for that exact perfect fit out of the box, it's worked really well for me to ask around, ask my staff, and be prepared to train, to move them that way a little bit in order to get the right personality. That's really the key. And so if there's anything else that you guys have done, I would love to hear about it. Comment here, send me an email. And of course, if you like what you're hearing, you want to join the discussion, or you think anybody else might want to join this, make sure you share it. Thank you for listening. Take care.